Hey Dad, it's me, your favorite son, and today I want to talk about anxiety. Gamers are an interesting bunch, mostly profiled as lonely men who have nothing better to do than kill, maim, and kiss their way through various virtual worlds. But a lot of people use video games to treat mental health conditions. A review of studies concerning video games as a treatment for mental health conducted in 2020 revealed that video games have promising effects on anxiety, depression, low mood, and stress. It's no surprise that people who are anxious find a programmed reward system beneficial to their mental health. But what about games that cause anxiety? That's right, I'm not here to help, I'm here to harm. But there are a few different types of anxiety, so let's talk about each one and its effects.
One day we up, one day we down.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine have been a prominent video game genre as far back as I can remember. I distinctly recall being a kid and booting up Silent Hill only to immediately turn it off because it was too scary. Horror games do a wonderful job at creating an atmosphere that terrifies you. Everything from jump scares to music, developers use every tool in their spooky wooky toolbox to make you sweat. There's a feeling here too, the one of anticipation, the thing that makes your skin crawl as you're walking down that faded hallway waiting for Alice to jump out from behind you. This is a direct type of anxiety. It has physical as well as mental effects. When the music builds, the enemy is behind you, and you can hear your character's breath, your body reacts. While you're rewarded for beating a level with new weapons, a new area to explore, or a cutscene, you're also rewarded with a slowed heart rate. This reward brings the game out of your television and into the physical space, and it can be incredibly satisfying. Horror games obviously use pacing to their advantage. They don't want a non-stop barrage of intensity. They want peaks and valleys. The Uncharted games specifically create an atmosphere of nail-biting tension as you're trying to climb your way up a falling train without slipping and breaking every bone in your beautiful, handsome body. This doesn't have to be purposeful either. Anxiety can affect you indirectly as well. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Naturally, you want to be good at a game. You want to overcome its challenges. When faced with a particularly difficult challenge, let's say for example, a swarm of enemies surrounding you on the battlefield, you feel a certain type of anxiety. This one is more fear of losing than anything. I don't think this is as prevalent today, but when I was younger, my anxiety or fear of losing came from having to redo entire sections of the game again. This was mostly due to lack of save points. Now, most games auto-save every 10 seconds, and if you die, you won't lose much progress. The Dark Souls games don't have this though, and if you die, you have to start all the way back from your bonfire, losing all geographical progress and all your souls, your statistical progress. This is why it can get particularly intense during boss fights or large groups of enemies. When you're fighting enemies that could potentially one-shot you, you know that every attack volleyed your way is a one-way ticket back. This means having to redo everything you've just done, and not getting those upgrades that you might have needed. Roguelite games make large use of this as well. When you're pushing through the dungeons of Hades, each level increases your anxiety just a little bit. In the first stage, if you die, you can quickly restart and just give it another go. But by the time you've reached Tartarus or even Hades himself, you know that you've sunk at least 25 minutes into this playthrough. You know that dying means wasting a lot of time. This is offset by the power increase you get each time you make an attempt or upgrade your weapons. Every time you die, you get just a little bit stronger. So back there, behind the anxiety, is something small telling you next time it'll be just a bit easier. People don't always get direct anxiety from action or horror. Anxiety affects all of us very differently. Playing Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup on the PlayStation 2 would cause me to bite my cheeks so hard that I'd have marks for days. Pretty gross, right? This suspense in any sort of environment will cause the player to freak out. But again, this anxiety can be incredibly rewarding, especially when overcoming some sort of challenge. After you've escaped the xenomorph, ran from the burning building, or beaten those nerdy bitch Hufflepuffs, you're left with a moment of relief. A sigh escapes your mouth because you know for now it's over. But not all gaming anxiety is direct. There's also indirect anxiety. This is the looming type of anxiety. It doesn't cause you to freak out as much as it says in the back of your head, "Hey, you gotta go beat the head of the Omi Alliance sooner, that girl's gonna die." This anxiety isn't the monster creeping up behind you or the sounds of the sirens overhead. This anxiety mostly appears in games with side quests or a high distraction factor. Call back to my last video, daddies. You know that you should be doing something. You know, saving the world. This type of anxiety is used expertly and to full effect in the Persona series. In Persona, essentially, you have to beat palaces to save people from being corrupted. Whenever you aren't in a palace, you're preparing for the palace by strengthening your bonds with your friends, gaining new abilities, or trying to eat Big Burger really fast. But right up in the corner of the screen is a constant reminder that your due date is looming. If you don't beat the palace by a certain date, you lose. It's entirely up to you how you manage your time, and that responsibility, that weight, is left up to you, the player. It's your job to discern when you're strong enough to give it a go. But this also means that there's a constant ticking clock in the back of your head telling you that you don't have much time left. The Persona games indirectly create an aura of anxiety whenever you have a palace to complete. When you've finished one, you're left with a lull, and the time is yours to spend freely, but in the back of your head, you know the clock is coming back, and it's coming back soon. Anxiety is used a lot in video games, but outside of the survival horror genre, I don't think it's something we particularly pay attention to. But its benefit to the atmosphere, reward system, and experience of most games is monumental. Bye, Dad. Hey Dad, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate all of the support you guys have been giving me. I work really hard on these videos, so it's awesome to see new people coming in and watching them. I did want to provide an update on ranking PS2 games from my childhood. I am still working on Volume 3, and it's almost done, so it should be out soon. And in addition to that, I have like 3 other videos I'm working on simultaneously. So there's a lot in the pipeline, and there's going to be a lot of content coming out, hopefully weekly. But again, thank you for watching, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button, give it a like if you liked it, and stick around for more of this. Bye, Dad.